The creator economy has a massive problem. And in this video, I'm going to discuss the three main issues within that overall problem and what you should be doing instead so that you don't get stuck on the hamster wheel, burn yourself out, and think that creating content is stupid, because it's not. So the first issue in this overarching problem is that an overwhelming majority, I would say 95% and up, of the content created out there is done with an end goal in mind. I encountered this problem when I was running my agency. Everything I was doing was to get clients. I need to create content to get clients. I need to make YouTube videos to get clients. I need to make a lead magnet to get clients. I need to grow this agency to make money, so forth and so forth. And the problem with that was I was so disconnected with what I really wanted. I was so disconnected with what kind of impact I want to have on the world in the first place, that everything became about making money, everything became about growing the business, everything became about getting clients. And so because that's what I was operating from, nothing I was doing actually went deeper to give me real fulfillment. Nothing I was actually doing was sustainable because I actually loved doing it. It was all to achieve this overarching goal of create more to get clients, create more to grow the business. And I actually think by definition, amazing media or amazing content is not created with this hard outcome that you can measure success by. Things that you want to watch, things that are amazing to watch, art, let's use the word art. Great art isn't created to be measured by some KPI or a number in your bank account. Great art is created because the person who actually went about making this thing had something to say. Great art is created because the person wanted to express something. They wanted to show you something beautiful. They want to show you something meaningful. They want to show you something that's going to make a massive difference in your life. And if you're going to think, well, that's fucking stupid, I want to make money, you can do both. And I know there are tons of people who are out there making a massively wild transformation, who are making a massive impact in their clients' lives. They're facilitating insane transformations for their clients and the people who watch their content. And that's the camp of content creator I want to be in. Somebody who's sharing what's on his mind, what's on his heart because it's relevant. Somebody who's sharing things that are going to make a big difference in people's lives. Somebody who's I want to share things that people can relate to. I want to share things that people want to keep watching over and over. I don't want to share something that you can easily log or track in a spreadsheet on whether it was successful. I know some pieces of content out there, whether it's for myself or my clients or people I've seen, that get not nearly as many views as their other pieces of content, and yet it gets them more clients. I know people who make pieces of content that maybe they didn't think it was going to do as well, and it resonated the deepest with their audience. And the reason I bring this up is because creating content is, I think everything in life can have a paradoxical aspect to it. And I think the paradox with content is that we have all these metrics, we have all this data to determine whether or not a video is good, whether or not people liked the video, click-through rate, watch rate, likes, shares, all that shit. And yet, I don't think any of them accurately depict how well your content really lands with the people watching it, because it's a feeling. How do you measure a feeling? And so I think that a lot of people get caught in the creator economy hamster wheel, or what my mentor Dan Bolton calls bro scaling, is where they get in the habit of, I need to leave the 9 to 5. Content creation is going to be the key to me leaving the 9 to 5. And if it doesn't live up to that, people get disappointed. They start to resent creating content. If it doesn't live up to becoming the career you wanted it to be, they burn out and they stop doing it, instead of remembering why they wanted to create in the first place. And again, creating good content can get you more clients. Ideally, when you do it well and you actually create from this place, it'll attract the right clients and it'll attract the right people, but you shouldn't do it for that outcome. You know what I mean? It's like the image that comes to mind is like a classic boyfriend, girlfriend in a movie where, it's that movie with, what are their names? Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn, where she asks him to do the dishes and he goes, okay, I'll do the dishes. And she goes, I don't want you to do the dishes when I ask. I want you to want to do the dishes. He's like, I don't want to do dishes. Who wants to do dishes? It's almost exactly like that. When you do things without expecting anything in return, when you genuinely are just giving, creating because it lights you up and it makes you feel fulfilled. It makes you feel like you're contributing to the world. That's what attracts people, not when you're hyper-focused to some outcome. And I think a lot of things in life are like that. Having a kid is the perfect example. I think you're just giving to this thing that you created. It can't pay you back really in some measurable, quantifiable way other than you feel fulfillment raising this child. When you have a partner, when you have a wife, a girlfriend, a husband, a boyfriend, you give to them because you love them, not because you're hoping to give you something back. Of course, the right partner is going to give you something back, but that's not the intention that you go into the interaction with. Because if you do and you start keeping score, then things start to fall apart. So I think content is exactly like that. When you create from the place of, I just love doing this and I want to share my thoughts and express myself, what you create is 10 times more resonant, and it will actually lead to better results in terms of you building a business and leaving the 9 to 5 if that's a goal of yours, rather than I need to leave the 9 to 5 because I just don't like my boss or I don't like my job. You're running from something. Instead of going from push energy and you're trying to run away, go from attraction. Go from doing it because you love doing it. The second problem is that a lot of people in the creator economy model the greats to a fault. There's nothing wrong with picking things that you like from people who are ahead of you. Like, Kobe Bryant modeled Michael Jordan because he was who Kobe wanted to be, and he got pretty goddamn close, right? But the problem with how this is done in the creator economy is that people look up to these figures like Hormozi, Dan Koe, Godzi. I could go on and on with names. And they idolize them to the point where they want their life completely. And I'll be honest with you, if 99% of the people who are aspiring entrepreneurs in the creator economy or are entrepreneurs, anyway, if 99% of the creator economy had Hormozi's life, I think they'd go insane. Like, Hormozi doesn't want kids. He's super systematized. He's successful. He makes lots of money, and his content is really damn good. I have his books. They're very good. But you don't know what else that person's going through. And I think that there's this unhealthy level of pedestalization done to these creators just because of what you see on their Instagram, just because of what you see on their TikTok. You don't know what people are really going through. And when you look at this person and go, oh, they're going to be the ones, this person's book or this person's program or this person's coaching or their mentorship or their course is going to be the thing that gets me to where I want to go, and you start to hyper focus on that, that's when it becomes unhealthy and you're setting yourself up for disappointment. I've been in this game, the online marketing game, now for almost 6 years. I got into it late 2019, and I really don't think I got into it actually in terms of understanding what an offer is and marketing and principles and getting really good at it till early 2022. I was pretty much like a glorified clipboard holder for 2 years, and then half a year kind of figuring out if I wanted to go deeper into it, and then I decided to. And in that time frame, the 6 years, I've worked for a bunch of different people. I've had my own agency. I've been around a bunch of successful people. I've made some good money myself, got some good results for my clients. And by far, I don't want to say regret, but by far the thing that I've done in which didn't lead to the most success and led to the most emptiness I felt on this journey is pedestalizing people. This person's successful because they have $50K a month. This person's successful because they're making $1 million a month. This person's successful because they have a certain amount of followers. This person knows Hormozi. This person knows that person. This person, insert whatever line your ego can come up with to convince you you're not worthy. There's nothing wrong with looking at what people ahead of you have done and figuring out what kind of strategy they've implemented that you think could work for yourself. There's nothing wrong with looking at, hey, where was Hormozi 8 years ago, which is in the position that I, or you watching this, currently am in. So I'm going to model my strategy or some of the things he did. I'm going to take some of the things he did and implement them myself because I'm in a similar position to where he was 8 years ago. There's nothing wrong with that. But the creator economy, because it doesn't seem as far away from I'll put it like this. Celebrities seem very far away, 20 years ago, because social media wasn't a thing. In order to run into a celebrity, you had to meet them in person, or you had to be well connected, or you had to know people at a newspaper or a media outlet or a TV channel, is that the right word? A TV station or whatever, or a producer. Now, everybody has social media. You can access them quite easily, especially in the creator economy, because they all have some type of mentorship, course, program, in-person mastermind, meetup. And so there's because there's such a closer level of proximity, a lot of people take that to think I can actually meet this person. I can actually be around this person. I can be peers with this person. And so their level of idolizing them intensifies. And so my message to you is don't let that happen, because they're just people. There's nothing that sets myself, you, Hormozi, Dan Coe, any of these people apart. They're just people who executed on something that they want to achieve. That's it. People making more money than you aren't better than you. They can learn something from you. People making less money than you aren't worse than you. You can learn something from them. As long as you come from this place of being of service, as long as you come from a place of genuinely wanting to make a difference and facilitate a deep transformation in people's lives and create impact, you will be okay. Trust me on that. It's really easy to look at guys like Gary Vee and Hormozi and wish that you had their lives just because of what you think looks glamorous from their social media. Trust me, it's not that simple. Take what is relevant, take what works, take what you think can help improve your business and your own life, leave the rest that doesn't resonate on a deeper level. And the third problem is it can be difficult to make a roadmap for a feeling, and the concept of branding and authenticity can be hard to conceptualize or make tangible. And so I'll say it like this. When I was younger, I really struggled with talking to women. And so I learned a lot in terms of watching videos, books, buying digital products, courses on how to talk to women, how to get better dates, etc. And I think a lot of guys would resonate in terms of wanting to learn more in that area. And I didn't realize until, I don't know, I started to come out of my shell more and put myself in positions to talk to them, ask them on dates, be in social settings where it wasn't even necessarily romantic, that there's an element of feeling that has to come into your dating life. That it's not just something you can read about in a book and execute and be like, if I say this, then she's going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and it's this like very logical, linear roadmap. There's this level of feeling that you can't replace, and it's hard to teach that. And I think that because the creator economy is full of these unique electric personalities, sometimes people try to formalize who that person is instead of tapping into who they are, right? Like, I can't become Hormozi. He's very much himself, and that's amazing. And that's part of the reason why people really fuck with him on a deep level. It's a big reason why he's as successful as he is, because he's super real. But I can be myself on a deep level. And so some of the best advice in the creator economy is to be authentic and to truly tap into what makes you real. And I think sometimes people miss the forest for the trees by trying to map out, well, how do I be authentic? How do I build a brand? How do I, show up more as myself? How do I build a personality? Instead of feeling it out and doing things that light them up. I think that's the true solution for this issue, is that you should do things that make you feel good and that light you up truly on a soul level. Of course, I'm not saying like eat dessert for breakfast because it makes you feel good and you'll be healthy. No, that's not what I'm saying. But there's a level of how deeply you know yourself and how deeply you know your strengths will translate to how you show up in your content. It will translate to how you show up for your business. And it will ultimately translate to the state of your business. I'm trying not to use the word success here because I don't want to tie it to like a tangible end outcome. The level at which you know yourself, the level at which you're comfortable with yourself and you can see who you are on a deep level will shine through in your content. There's a couple solutions that jump off the page for me right away, and the three words are rabbit holes, curiosity, impact. So rabbit holes. What makes you go down rabbit holes? What makes you get completely lost in time, researching ideas, studying, learning about things that really light you up and make you curious? For me, I love going down rabbit holes on spirituality, manifesting, marketing, content, self-improvement. So those are the things that I bring to the table when I create content because they mean something to me, so they will mean something to other people. I think understanding what your audience wants is valuable, but there's also a level of the Rick Rubin, the audience is the least important person in the room attitude that you kind of need in terms of like, hey, if I find this interesting, other people will find this interesting. And I know that if I present it in a way that leads with impact and service, they will also find it interesting. So the second word is curiosity. This kind of relates to the rabbit hole thing, but like, what do you want to know? Like, what are you curious about? Like seriously, on a deep level, what do you think about at night? What runs your thoughts? Ask those questions. Go down those paths. And the third word is impact. What's going to make an impact on your life and other people's lives? What can you share that's going to move the needle in a meaningful way for people? You want to make things that are massively valuable to people. And before I forget these two things, because I do have some notes, create the content you want to see And also, what can you talk about for hours on end? So back to the valuable piece quickly, and I'll touch on the last two things. You want it to be something that people want to watch over and over. This is something that I'm huge on. There's only so much strategy that you can do. There's only so much logic and linear thinking that you can put into your overall approach to creating content. At some point, you have to be the person people want to watch. At some point, you have to be the person that people want to be around, that they could just binge, they could go down rabbit holes. You have to be the person who people go, wow, this is awesome. Like, this is very valuable, and this is something I want to be around. I want to be closer to this person. Because the more you can evoke that desire of them, the more you can evoke them desiring proximity to you, the easier it's going to be to actually build a sustainable business that's not going to burn you out because you're hustling for clients, because you're hustling for some end goal. Be somebody who they want to be around. Be somebody who they know is going to make an impact in their lives. Be somebody who they want to watch. And this kind of goes hand in hand with a principle I was taught when I did stand-up comedy. If you don't know this, I did stand-up comedy for 4 years, 2018 to 2022. And a great piece of advice I was given in stand-up was be the kind of stand-up comedian that you want to watch. Create the comedy that you want to see. Create the content you want to see. Say the things that you want to hear and that would keep you hooked, because it would keep other people hooked. And talk about the things that you could talk about for hours on end. Like, talk about the things that you never get tired of speaking about. Don't just do something to get clients. Don't just do something to build your business. Do something because it means something to you. Do something because it fucking moves you. Do something because you believe in it. Evangelize, like really speak from the heart, really speak from your soul. That's what's going to attract people into your life. Not playing on this, superficial surface area level. I think a lot of people kind of think manifestation or the law of attraction or frequency is very woo-woo and metaphysical, and they don't believe in it because they can't see it. They can see it if they try. I don't think that stuff is like Santa Claus, where it doesn't exist if you don't think it's real. It's like gravity. If you jump off a building, you're going to fall. The law of attraction is very real, whether you agree with it or not. Frequency is very real. We're made up of matter, which is really just vibrating atoms. Everything has a vibration. Everything has a frequency. So you need to align with the frequency in which you want to be on to attract the things you want to attract. The place you want to live in has a certain frequency. The woman you want to marry has a certain frequency. The job you want to create for yourself has a certain frequency. The audience you want to build has a certain frequency. The content you want to create has a certain frequency. Embody that frequency. Learn how to live from that place. Learn how to live from that energetic place. Learn how to evoke those emotions. That's what's going to make you magnetic. That's what's going to help you create awesome content. It's what's going to help you create a business that's sustainable. It's what's going to help you feel good and not burn out. Don't stay on the creator economy hamster wheel of just running in circles and hoping things are going to grow your business and you'll be saved once you leave the 9 to 5. Speak from the heart. Speak about things that are true. Speak about things that light you up. Speak about things that you know can make an impact in people's lives. Speak about things that you can get lost in. The right people will show up when you do that repeatedly. Peace.